Very good afternoon, and good to see a lot of conversations around AI. Absolutely interesting discussion so far. First of all, Amitabh, pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for your time. This discussion is going to be predominantly around the startups, the product companies who are trying to sort of leverage AI to fast track their development cycle, whether it is research till refinement of the product. How we can sort of leverage AI across every cycle of the product development and fast track this. Before we get in, a quick question to the audience here. How many of you have been leveraging AI from a product development standpoint or trying to build a product? Early phase, it can be in different prototyping, research, etc. Anyone with that background? Awesome. Great to hear. So, with this, I think I would like to structure the conversation with three themes. One, how AI can be leveraged across the entire product lifecycle. If something is being done, let's say 1 year for us to do the research, can I do an ideation and do the research, let's say in 2 months, and automate the development and the design phase of my product lifecycle? The second theme will be around what are the challenges that we can learn from the panel here who have been the early adopters of the AI in their respective sectors. The third is the challenges, how we can sort of fail fast, at the same time be within the boundary when we talk about ethical considerations of leveraging AI. Maybe I'll start off with Dr. Amitabh to sort of bust the AI myth. It's not a 1 year fancy word which we are sort of listening, but something much more beyond which is happening from decades altogether. So maybe request you to sort of bust that AI myth.
Sure. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for the invite, of course. Whenever we talk about AI, we refer to Gen AI and all kinds of new things that are happening. And it always appears that AI is probably like 5, 10 years old. If you go back in history, and my PhD advisor used to be a person who had done his PhD in AI. You'll be surprised to know that AI started in 1939. 1939. The word was coined in 1956. Before that, neural networks, of course, there were only 30 neurons in that network, but artificial neuron networks had been created. Alan Turing had spoken about, the advancements in how human power could be made equivalent in computing power. This was happening in 1950. In 1956, the term artificial AI was launched. The chatbots that we are talking about today, 1964, the first one was Eliza. This is not something new. It's been around. The fear of losing jobs and all that, far from true. I think this is a progress. This is a path towards progress. A lot of new things are developing in this area. But AI has been around for a long time. Neural networks have been around for a long time. All the development that is happening is all interesting, and it will only increase the productivity and make our lives better. That I am certain, as has been the case. I mean, 1997, this Big Blue, what was it called? Big Blue, that computer that defeated Gary Kasparov. Siri. These are all examples. They've been around for a while, but developments and our understanding has increased in the last few years, and that's why we constantly keep thinking that AI is new. But it's been there for 8 decades now.
Good to hear. Maybe I'll just take the cue that you mentioned, which is productivity, and I'll just ask the question to Amit, which is the role of AI with respect to the product lifecycle, starting from the research, ideation, prototyping, MVP, maybe refining the product through the customer feedback, and on top of it, what else new features can be brought in and taken to the market. with your sector that you have been operating from a co-living space, how do you see this from a sector standpoint, and how you have managed in terms of building such a product which is going to fast track from speed and efficiency standpoint?
Thank you, Thierry. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me here. So let me talk about uh, a couple of use cases which we are using AI for. So AI has been there for a long time, so it is not new, as Dr. Amitabh told. Uh, Gen AI is a new phenomena. So, for example, in our co-living accommodation, Zolo is the largest co-living accommodation provider in India. We have got different type of people coming, right? Uh, we've got different kind of audiences. We have got Gen Z who's looking for job. We have got people who are studying in college. We have got working professional who is of a certain age. We have got people coming from southern part of country. We have people coming from northern part of country and east and west. So everybody has got a different kind of preferences, right? And it'll be very good if we find out, you know, uh, beforehand if somebody is coming to our property, and if we can find out what are his preferences and we can give services according to his preferences. I'll just give you one small use case. It is very trivial use case, but I'm just trying to tell you in a very simple way. Uh, we provide sharing accommodation also. So how do you have a algorithm which can give you a best match of person or a roommate, right? Uh, so we capture preferences based on different means. There are some automatic way of capturing preferences also. And accordingly, if somebody is looking for a perfect roommate, he can go and give his preferences, and immediately, very quickly, within no second, within couple of seconds, we say that okay, this is your preference, and according to this, you have found these many matches, and we record. And if he agrees, we record his inputs, and as soon as he comes to our property, we give him uh, accommodation with the roommate with which match was found. This is one of the use case. Then somebody Gen Z, suppose he's looking for posters in his room, MA posters, right? Or BTS posters, because we have got a lot of Gen Z crowd with us. So if you know that okay, this kind of audience he's looking for these kind of preferences, we keep his room ready according to his likings, right? That way, as soon as he comes to our property, as soon as he comes to the room, he gets a different kind of experience which he doesn't get anywhere else. We also capture, we have got a chat bot. When customer is looking for accommodation, he comes to our website, and new generation is likes to chat more. They don't like to talk. They don't want to call center. They like to chat more. So they will, as soon as they are talking, just typing it, we find out his profiles, and according to that, our Gen AI based chatbot, it responds. Even the conversation is also according to their profile. For example, somebody who is college going, if he's talking to our chatbot or he's typing in our chatbot, we will have that kind of conversation with that person. So we are getting different kind of inputs. We are trying to find the profile of the user, and accordingly we are trying to respond. This is how Gen AI and AI is helping improving the customer experience. As far as product development is concerned, we get a lot of these insights, right? And when we are getting these insights from by using AI, it is very easy because it is coming from the data. And when it is coming from the data, there are very rare chances that it can go wrong. We can do our feature trialing accordingly, and we can release our features as quickly as possible based on those insights. Uh, it of course, all these AI insights, it helps us in doing the feature planning. I'll go to so I'm leading the technology team, so I was a developer also, so uh, development is very close to my heart. We used to IntelliSense in all the IDEs, right? So earlier it used to tell us, what kind of functions are there. If you're using a particular class, what are functions are there, right? If you are having a, block of the code, if you're missing something, some compilation error or some runtime error, it will just point it out. Now, your code, right? Whatever you want to type, you can type in a natural language, and it will give you, complete code in the IDE if you are using Copilot or some other platform. So, and if you want to build an API from scratch, for example, you want to build a product for e-commerce domain, you want to build a catalog, and you want to have a product API, all the modification, addition, get, within 10 minutes, you can create a very nice, beautiful REST API, which is giving you all the product information and which is allowing you to create a product just by writing a right prompt with database integration. Within 10 minutes, it can create a complete API for you, which was like before GenAI came, it was for a good developer, it was at least a day job or 2-day job. So now you can do all this in a couple of minutes. So as far as productivity is concerned, I see that with GenAI, your productivity is going to improve by at least 10 times. Software development productivity, at least.
Awesome, great. That is good to hear that it is something you have been tried and working, and good to see how the larger integration in the entire stack, how it unfolds. Maybe Amitav, considering your sector, which is EV manufacturing, and where you lead the R&D, what all other phases of the product development cycle that you believe has helped by leveraging AI in terms of ideation till maybe a go to market?
Yeah. Altigreen, the company I head, we make electric vehicles. Right now, three-wheeled. You see all of them distributing last mile goods, the orange and green and the blue ones, they're out there. Automobile, for some reason, you'll notice in the previous presentations, whenever they spoke about, things, future of AI and all that, automobiles was never included in it. I think it's one of those sectors that needed revolutionizing. It needed folks from computer science to enter into the manufacturing of electric vehicles. There are a lot of things that are happening today, especially for us, which are helping us in accelerate the design, the testing of these vehicles and putting them out on the road. Regulations are the same across the entire country. So the processes that have to be followed have to be the same. Can AI and digital technology help us get there faster and sooner? I think digital twinning is something that we adopt a lot, which means everything that's happening on the road, can you create a version, a simulation of that? How good that simulation is ultimately will determine how quickly you can put the product out in the market. But that's something that we do on a very regular basis. A lot of simulations that are done are more road load simulations. So it's not just about saying that a vehicle is going to carry 1 ton payload. It is also about whether it's stacked on the left side or the right side, or if there are fast accelerations or fast deaccelerations or fast cornering. So a lot of these kinds of cases, which earlier used to take a long time, are now done very easily. Of course, it comes at a cost, but those are some of the things, for example, in the EV domain, that we continue to do in the automobile manufacturing domain that are fairly common now and becoming more predominant.
Great. I'm sure there'll be a lot more startups which will, in future will get to see the ease of starting a company where I can go and get an idea, maybe do a market research from the sample data available, and also build the code. It can be a semi-automated code, as you said, from a Copilot. Great, good to hear. If I move to the challenges and ethical considerations, as you have adopted some of these frameworks, tools, platforms, maybe Amit, if you can help us, how somebody has to approach having or adopting a particular AI technology and integrating into their product stack.
Right. So uh, I'll just again start with one or two use cases which I am using in my company. So, for example, the biggest use case is L&D, right, and training. As far as your organization efficiency is concerned, right? You've got nowadays new generation. It is uh, used to change. It is used to changing job very often, right? Every at least once in a year they have to change job, right? So your attrition is very high. When new people coming, um, you need to train them very fast, and you need to make them very productive very fast. So you have got a lot of documentation, you've got processes. It is very difficult for people to go through each and every documentation, and even if they go through it, they forget, right? So we started creating bots for different teams. For example, our customer support team, right? So whenever customers are calling and majority of the information, regular information regarding their stays, it is available in portals, but something which is out of box, right? Something which is not available. So we have created bots where customer support agents, they can just chat. Whatever information they are looking for, they will get that information very quickly. We are into co-living space. We do agreements with lot of property owners. Uh, this whole so legal contracts are very heavy, uh, and whenever people are getting people need any information, it is very hard to find out those lengthy documents and find the information, a particular clause from those documents. So we created a bot where all the legal information from all the legal contracts of 400 properties we have trained, and whenever somebody wants, they can just write their questions and we can fetch that information. So these are the typical use cases, but now the problem is how do we ensure that uh, information doesn't go to person who is not authorized to access that information. We are training a lot of documents, but are we ensuring that we are training document for the right audience? There could be some classified information which should not even go from one department to another department. So as far as Gen AI is concerned, this L&D and training use case is concerned, this is a major challenge. As far as AI is concerned, what I see is definitely cost is a very big concern. It has become cheaper. Your entry barrier has come down because of various platforms such as Google Vertex AI and platforms offered by AWS and Azure and the other public cloud providers. You don't have to invest a lot in the infrastructure. But now even these platforms also, if you want to do some hit and trial, you need to spend a lot of money in finding out some information which may not be even valuable for you. So cost and ensuring that right information is available to the right audience, I feel these are the two main challenges. Of course, I'm not going into the bias part, which I think Dr. Amitabh will talk about.
Yeah. See, I'll talk only about two things. One is the bias. In the olden days of computers, we used to talk about garbage in, garbage out, right? So whatever bad information you give, you get the bad result out of it. I think in today's world, it has become more bias oriented. So you have a problem of bias. It depends on the data that you supply to a Gen AI model. What happens to that data going forward? The results that you get, the answers that you get are going to be like this. And this was shown in the Google, the first time the search engine came out, it was giving wrong results, all kinds of things. So there is a problem of bias which can be exploited by various organizations or various people within organizations to get a result that you would want the organization to pursue, which might not really be true. So that is one. I think the second thing from a startup standpoint is AI is expensive. It is very expensive to compute and it takes a lot of resources. Who is paying for it? Someone has to pay for it. Is there some benefit that the end customer is getting? Yes, it might be good for the organization. There might be a certain saving that we get out of it. productivity may be increasing, how much is that going to be, and at what point will a humble three rickshaw driver be in a position to understand the benefits of something like this and be in a position to do it, whether it is improving the driving score. So for example, things we are doing is we're managing driving scores, how good a particular driver is driving in what kinds of areas, which allow us to talk to insurance companies and see if we can reduce their premiums. For a three rickshaw driver, it's a big thing if their premiums, insurance premiums can reduce. So there are a lot of things like this that we continue to do, but it comes at a cost. And at some point, all the startups will have to figure out, how much should they invest in it, how much should they work on it until it is monetizable. I think it's important to keep an eye on that. Otherwise, very quickly, you get into R&D mode and you'll end up spending a lot of money.
Absolutely. That is insightful. If I jump to the interest of time, maybe I'll just take the liberty to stretch a minute or so on the innovation. Right, we are talking about AI. How AI can be integrated, can have a better interlock with the emerging technologies. It can be IoT, it can be blockchain, and again, not for the sake of trying new technology, but with an intent of creating a differentiated product offering or a larger proposition in the market. So how this can be managed, because there is always a pressure on the speed of innovation. At the same time, technology is changing, so how any company can always stay competitive and innovative?
So, in the case of automotive domain, at least it's very clear as far as AI is concerned. One is autonomy is going to happen. May take some time in India in specific sectors, but autonomous vehicles are going to happen, and they require a lot of AI to happen. It is something that we all will start seeing going forward, whether it's robo taxis as a start or vehicles themselves. It may start with level 1, level 2, level 3. I don't know when we'll reach level 5. So autonomy is definitely something. Blockchain and AI together for payments is going to see very quick adoption. I think it really helps, especially because all EVs require charging, and you have lots of stations where you need to charge these vehicles. How do you pay for them? So a lot of that is already being done and will continue to be done as part of this. I do believe that these two, I would say, again, in the interest of time, these two are definitely something that is going to happen in the automotive domain.
I just want to add one more area. IoT is something which I see that they will see a quick adoption, especially wherever we want to do a cost optimization. For example, controlling the electricity cost. So those are the areas we will see very quick adoption because it makes business sense.
Awesome, great. Thank you so much for your insights, and we are absolutely on time. If I had to conclude and summarize, a lot more scope and an evolving landscape with respect to having or leveraging AI for product development lifecycle, reducing the entire time and speed of building a product is getting shortened with a lot more efficiency in place. At the same time, as long as done with the right platforms being selected from a cost standpoint and the right governance in place. Great to see the way ahead in terms of augmenting the AI and building new products. Again, Amit, Amitabh, thank you so much for your time, and everybody have a great day ahead.
Thank you.